right. Okay. So, welcome everyone. I'm very happy. My presentation today is about Greek philosophy. Now, Greek philosophy is a growing worldwide movement and is particularly led by the modern Stoics. In today's fast-paced, technological, consumer-driven society, people experience deep levels of anxiety. Having lost their religion to science, there's a real vacuum which Greek philosophy can fill. In recent years, it's been experiencing a rebirth through a movement called modern Stoicism. It's not by chance that Steve Jobs once said that I would give up all my technology for an afternoon with Socrates. Reid Hoffman, the founder of LinkedIn, said that studying philosophy, especially Aristotle, has taught me to think clearly. And he said, I feel it's helped me even more than my MBA to become a billionaire. We can say that Stoicism is the West's answer to Buddhism. Modern Stoicism, like modern humanism too, is increasingly appealing to people who want to live ethical, value-based lives informed by science and reason. And they want their philosophy to be at the same time coherent and flexible enough to adjust to new times and circumstances. Now, even though 2,500 years have passed, the way of Greek philosophy is eternal and universal. It's for all humans. It's basically a set of values and practices which anyone can apply and benefit from, regardless of their faith, to make them inwardly strong and free, no matter how challenging a situation might be. Stoicism, as I said, is a growing global trend. In the past 5 years alone, there has been an astonishing increase of people who call themselves Stoics. There are organized Stoic groups in some 60 cities around the world. The annual Stoicon conference attracts some 500 people. Mario Pigliucci, a renowned Stoic, calls this the fifth wave of Stoicism. And that's just a very small part of the 47 million searches about Greek philosophy on the internet. Now, what are the origins of Stoicism? Stoicism is an ancient Greek philosophy developed by Zeno of Citium, that's ancient Cyprus, around 300 BC. He based his teachings on the teachings of Socrates. Stoicism develops self-leadership and promotes a healthy, effective state of mind by helping people to overcome harmful thoughts and emotions. Stoicism doesn't seek to eliminate completely the emotions, but actually seeks to domesticate them. How, you may wonder? This is done through a way of life which involves several practices, including constantly training the practice of logic and reason, daily contemplation of death. Yeah, that might sound a little macabre, reflecting on death every day. Thinking about your own mortality actually helps you get more value out of each day. The goal of Stoicism is freedom from anguish, anger, or suffering through a certain practice of apatheia. Now that sounds like apathy, but it's actually about being objective and having a clear judgment. I mean, life can sometimes be a roller coaster, but this will help you to have that inner peace and stability. Because after all, as the great philosopher Epictetus said, man is affected not by the events, but by the view he takes of them. The Stoics taught that becoming a clear, unbiased, self-disciplined thinker allows one to understand the logos, which is the natural universal reason behind all events. Thus, just as Socrates taught about 200 years earlier, before Zeno, unhappiness and evil are the result of ignorance. The solution to this evil and unhappiness can be achieved through the examination of one's own judgments and behaviors in order to determine where they might have diverged from the Logos. The famous Stoic maxim, "Live according to nature," refers to the laws of the universe and of our unique nature as human beings. That means our ability to reason and question. Think about it. Animals can't really reason, and they certainly don't ask questions. So this is our uniqueness as human beings. An important aspect of Stoicism involves living an ethical, a moral lifestyle that actually is based on 4 cardinal values that Plato, the person who spoke about these 4 values. The first value is phronesis. That refers to practical wisdom. The second one is δικαιοσύνη, a sense of justice and fairness in your everyday handling. The third value is sophrosύνη, or moderation, and andria is the 4th virtue, and that has to do with courage. So the Stoics will live according to these 4 values, which you will probably recognize in other religions. Christianity in particular adopted these 4 values, and they considered them a remedy against the 7 deadly sins: pride, lust, envy, rage, greed, gluttony, and sloth. For the Stoics, living according to reason, that is logos, and virtue, what they called areti, is to live in harmony with the divine order of the universe and recognizing the essential value of all people. We're all children of the universe, and this echoes the claim of Socrates, who said, "I am not an Athenian or a Greek. I am a citizen of the world." So you can say that Socrates, and followed by the Stoics, were the first global thinkers. One of the main concepts of Stoicism is called the dichotomy of control. And the Stoics said that there are basically things that are inside your control and things that are outside your control. And they said that we should indeed focus on the things that we can control. For example, we can control our own words. We can control our own actions, our efforts, our mistakes, correcting our mistakes, our own behavior in general. And what about the things outside of our control? Well, those you sort of accept like the weather. For example, other people's opinion, other people's words, other people's activities, other people's mistakes. So basically it says focus on the things you can control. And it's incredible. Once you begin to internalize this dichotomy of control, you will see the world entirely differently. You're going to focus your mental and emotional energy on whatever and wherever is the center of your power, which is actually in the here and now. And you'll begin to develop an attitude of inner tranquility, freedom towards everything else. It's an unshakable freedom. Nothing outside of you can alter your freedom and your inner peace. We don't control what happens to us, but we control how we can respond to what happens to us. And this is expressed in a famous quote by Marcus Aurelius, who said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." So they kind of welcome obstacles. In fact, they see it almost like the gasoline to their fire. That's why they have a famous quote called amor fati. That's Latin for the love of one's fate. So no matter what's happening to you, you will accept it, embrace it as part of your story. When we embrace the obstacles with curiosity and reason, we actually are open to many opportunities that other people don't see. Think of King Odysseus without the Odyssey. It's the odyssey that made him who he was. Stoicism is actually a wonderful path for entrepreneurs in particular, for personal happiness and for navigating a world that is inherently unpredictable. It's a philosophy for self-made individuals, for resilient and robust individuals, for resourceful people who understand that they don't control outside forces, but they do control their own internal forces. It's inspired by Socrates, who lived and died according to his values. So the Stoics are not prepared to just sell out their honor, their ethos, nor their peace of mind. So it's up to you. Are you ready to become a Stoic?